I was getting ready this morning. I like put Silk in my hair.
Mhm.
It's like oil or whatever. The first brand that I had was called Silk, so I
Mhm.
just call it that. And I was just sort of going through the motions really quick, and I do like 2. And I just sat there and I just like did it, and I didn't look first, and it was facing me, so I like money shot myself. And because it's like oil, I then had to go wash my face.
Oh my god.
Because I just had like gloss
all over your face.
It was really funny.
Very funny.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristin.
And this is So I'm Watching This Show, your new favorite pop culture YouTube channel where we talk about movies, TV, music, and more. And as always, this is a spoiler show, so you have been warned. On today's episode, we're going to continue our journey through the Screamiverse with Kristin's controversial favorite, Scream 3.
It is my favorite. It's so funny.
From suspense master Wes Craven comes the final chapter in the terrifying trilogy. Scream 3.
Don't panic.
I know that this one isn't regarded as that good, and or people don't really like it all that much. And I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I think as far as like I said, once you're in the third slasher movie of a trilogy, it's like you kind of have to suspend the disbelief. And in spite of the fact that there's a fourth and now to be fifth one coming out, I think it is a proper trilogy in the sense that it like the rules play out the way Randy says.
Yeah.
We go back to the beginning. We find out something that we thought to be true was untrue, yada, yada, all that. I think it's great. And I consider the fourth one, and probably we'll see what comes with the fifth one. I consider that to be sort of like additional, sort of like, not even like an AU, but I like the button that we put on this one in the end.
Yeah. Although if I were Sydney, I would still keep my door closed and locked at all times.
But it's the symbolism. It's symbolic because I also do love that final line, the really like cheesy one from Patrick Dempsey, where he's like, "We're gonna put on a movie," and she's like, "What kind of movie?" And he's like, "You gotta come find out," because it's like it's done. She's no longer in a slasher. So what movie will happen?
What are
now?
we in now?
As we've said, this is your favorite. Why is that? What do you respond to, and what do you?
Parker Posey.
That's it.
Finn.
Gail Weathers. Oh my God. Listen, I know we've never met, and I don't mind you never returning my calls, but I have to tell you, after 2 films, I feel like I am in your mind.
Well, that would explain my constant headaches.
I mean, mostly, yes, I'm not joking. Parker Posey and Courtney Cox playing against each other as Gail and Gail is like the height of comedy to me. But I also I like all the other little actors that are in it. Despite her personality and personal beliefs, Jenny McCarthy is excellent in her small bit of this movie.
kind of like low key. I kind of deep down love Jenny McCarthy, and we don't talk about it anymore because she's like, ugh.
Yeah.
But we're also not going to really be talking about anti-vaxxing in this. We're going to keep with Sarah Darling.
But then also, I really, really like the killer in this one. I think it works. And I think that's most people's biggest complaint with it, but I think it works. I mean, it just makes sense to me.
Well, and that's why I bring up our age, because that's sort of before we were like, I think we just accepted things that were presented to us more.
Sure.
And so.
Sure, because I still believe that's how you make dinosaurs. Jurassic Park. It could happen. It's real.
Sure. I discovered Parker Posey kind of all at once through, in like a 2-year span. I got this, Josie and the Pussycats, The House of Yes, Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show. And so for me, she was sort of birthed fully formed. And I'm so curious because I'm not really familiar with her career up until this point. So I'm so curious to know the making of this movie. At what point was she brought in?
Yeah. Was
that character written that way? Was it written for her? Did they know what they had? Like, because she's in. I remember her, of course. Like, that's like the number one thing I think of when I think of Courtney's bangs.
Oh boy.
But it's like in the top 5.
Apparently, it was like down to Parker Posey and Téa Leoni.
I could see that.
I could see it.
It would be different, but Téa would be...
Parker Posey was the correct move. All of her physical comedy, the way she leaps into Patrick Warburton's arms, the way she just is with Courtney Cox the whole time. Gale Weathers would find a way. All of it is perfect.
It's so weird. It's so... Because I genuinely think that at the end of the day, when we're looking at Parker Posey's oeuvre, at her catalog, I think that this is God tier. Like, there's something about the bad highlights and the like, because the reason why I liked this movie so much is I liked the Hollywood of it all. I like that this is a movie about making a movie, and it was exciting to me as the young wannabe filmmaker and all that. And you get like very bold through line about, you know, the toxicity of Hollywood and how awful the casting couch is.
Yeah, well, that was the thing for me. It was taking a really bold stance on, like
acknowledging the Goose Goblin. It's like, we don't talk about the thing, and here we are making it the crux of the movie.
It was also like a real Roman Polanski vibe, too, that we had going.
Also coming from Miramax, which is rich in hindsight, but
too on the nose.
Hollywood is full of criminals whose careers are flourishing.
Spread your wings.
So that was really interesting to me. Okay, so I was looking a little bit at the trivia, and it says there's a reason why this one is funnier, and it's because of Columbine. The producers were pressured into toning down the film's violence. At one point, the studio attempted to demand for no blood to be seen in the film at all. As such, this film is a bit more satirical and comedic than the first two, which we maintain that the first two are also very, very funny. But
this one's funny, though.
Yeah.
Like,
so I had to go look at when Columbine happened because I didn't remember, and it was 99
or 99,
and this came out in 2000. So it makes sense.
I want to break it down like a math problem or the science. Like, was she choosing to put on this voice? Was she choosing to read these things this way? Or did she just show up and the magic happens? Like, because I think
the voice is her Jennifer Jolie character.
Because there's just so many like I'd ever win an award playing someone like you.
Part of that is just Parker Posey.
It's so weird and so funny, and I can't imagine a reality without it.
Yeah,
like this is going to sound like too much, but it's like I wouldn't be who I am.
No,
without
agree.
Jennifer Jolie.
I agree with that. Because there's things that we say and reference all the time from multiple of her roles, from Josie and the Pussycats, all of it. She is so iconic.
Well, Parker, yes, but I actually mean Jennifer. I mean, like, this character, because it's not her. It's not her defining role. I don't know. There's just something so iconic about it.
Isn't kind of every Parker Posey role her defining role? I don't think she has a miss, really.
There's a handful of times where you're like, sure, like Lost in Space, you're like, that might as well be Parker Posey. But no, there's just, and placing her against not only Courtney Cox, but Courtney Cox's Gale Weathers, like the scene where she accosts Gale.
Jeez. What the hell are you doing? Being Gale Weathers. What the hell are you doing?
I am Gale Weathers.
Here's how I see it. I've got no house, no bodyguard, no movie, and I'm being stalked. Because someone wants to kill me? No, because someone wants to kill you. So now, starting now, I go where you go. That way, if someone wants to kill me, I'll be with you. And since they really want to kill you, they won't kill me. They'll kill you. Make sense?
None.
It does.
And you were like clear, crystal clear logic, and just sort of like the like I said, the bad highlights, the terrible like 1999/2000 WB promo clothes,
God.
And like I said, she's in a lot of the movie.
Yeah.
Like I kind of remember, like I laughed when Jenny McCarthy is like, I play Candy, the one who dies second, and has two scenes, and I laugh because I'm like, she has two scenes.
She technically dies third, but it's fine. Okay, so also part of that is because Neve Campbell's contract allowed her to be on set for just 20 days because she was filming two other things at the time, Party of Five and a movie called Drowning Mona. And so that's why there's more focus on the side characters than there is on Sydney.
That's probably another thing that we like about it.
Which I love Sydney, and I love Neve
I know,
Campbell,
but she's also, I mean, she's the Luke Skywalker. It's like she's the boring lead that obviously we want to show up and be the hero, but it's like we're not here for that.
Yeah, 100%.
This movie is actually kind of more so about Gale and Dewey.
Yeah.
To the point where it even ends with like a half-assed marriage proposal.
Yeah. Their whole thing is sort of half-assed. Like, honestly, you kind of could see it wasn't going to work out in real life based on the movies.
Well, like I said, I think that we're just actually witnessing their courtship.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is how it actually went down.
Yeah.
But I love Scott Foley.
This was his first movie.
Was it really?
Yeah. I mean, he was on Felicity before this, but this was his first movie. That feels wild to me.
I love the drama of it, that on more than one occasion, Scott Foley dresses up as Ghostface, who then dresses up as Sydney's dead mother to menace. Yeah. Like, he's just trying to spook her wearing the like sheet. It's so weird. It is so funny. The whole her mother thing in this movie, because it's like this is like a poltergeist movie. Yeah. She's like being haunted in a way that she's not in the first two. And I kind of love it. I remember falling for it hook, line, and sinker. It scared the shit out of me. Because this was also, like I said, when I was 16, it's before I had a grasp on genre.
Sure.
So, I mean, there could have been ghosts and I would be like, oh no.
Yeah.
But so when I was younger, I didn't like or get Angelina, Emily Mortimer's character. And in hindsight, that is such a weird and funny character. She's this like...
She's very prim.
Mousy, bright-eyed ingenue who won a contest to be the next Sydney. Which also that I'm kind of obsessed with the Stab movies. Like I want to see them.
Me too.
But B, I want like I want a world within a world, because it's like they're adaptations of a novel. So they're true crime movies. And then they come out too quickly to be tasteful.
That's for sure true.
And they're not good. We see them. And then they write a third movie. Could you imagine surviving not one, but two massacres? And then a year after, or like 2 years after the second one, they write a fictionalized version of You're Going Home? And then it's insane.
And then it starts coming true.
Yeah. Well, but that is the hat on top of the hat on top. Because they also kill off Gale Weathers.
Yeah.
In the third movie. It's mind-boggling.
It is.
I've never thought about it.
I do love it. It's very funny. And I do love also that they like managed to get Cotton Weary to sign on to be in it as himself and get killed in the first scene. And that is how this movie opens, is Cotton Weary and his girlfriend, what the fuck, Kelly Rutherford, getting super murdered at the beginning. It's not nice and it's not fair.
I gave no fucks about Cotton Weary the first time I watched it. And watching it this time, I'm like, not Cotton Weary. Yeah. He just like, so his biggest crime is that he's kind of a slime bag, I guess.
He's just trying to milk it for all it's worth.
And apparently doing a good job.
Yeah.
100% Cotton.
Yeah. Funny.
I don't know. I feel so bad for him. And also, I mean, he a little bit is playing with fire. It's Kristine's the one that I'm like, maybe it's the Kelly Rutherford of it all.
Oh,
but it's
okay. Cause she does make a comment where she's like, I don't want to play your ghost face games anymore, which means that he's been making her play sex games with Ghostface, which is so mean.
It's so funny. And the thing
is, that's the type of thing you need to take to a professional to work out your trauma.
I'm asking for more. Like, I'm like, I wish we got more understanding of Stab. And I truly believe that it is a case of less is more. I think that if they had put any more thought into it, it wouldn't work.
Sure. I agree with that for sure.
But yeah, so Angelina wins this role. So Angelina's not English. It's just Emily.
Emily Mortimer is English, but Angelina is.
Because for a second I was starting to be like, and then faked an English accent. But
no, that's on 30 Rock. Okay. I have hollow bones.
Well, when she ran away, you were like, she's a terrible runner.
Yeah.
And I like literally was like, hollow bones joke. But she's very, like you said, very prim and proper and very like doe-eyed ingenue. And she has several lines where she's just sort of like,
people are dying.
yeah, because they're like, what, you should be upset. This was your big break. And she's like, not at the expense of people's lives.
Yeah.
And like
And- Go ahead.
she plays this through the whole movie.
Because I would say the first ding in the armor that we get is when Sydney finds her in the bathroom and she's like stealing props.
But she pulls that off.
She pulls it off, but it's still very sus. And she's just sort of like, I mean, it could be my only movie, blah, 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 blah.
Well,
And
she's fangirling over
Yeah.
Sydney,
Yeah.
and it's like, I don't know. I just remember her being this weird presence, and she is, but I kind of love it.
Honest to God, to the point where last night while we were watching it, I was like, is Scott Foley working with her? Like, is she in on it? I could not remember if he like had a partner in this one.
And then so she goes to that party at the end, and she's still doing the whole thing, and we get to the moment where they like shit is like properly hitting the fan. And she's like, I gotta get out of here. And they're like, wait, what? And she turns around and unhinges her jaw and swallows them whole.
Yeah.
And she just,
I did not fuck that pig Milton to get a leading role just to die here with second-rate celebrities like you two.
it is, and it took
And then
me,
she does still die, right?
she does, but she gets attacked by the killer.
Yeah.
And she does a full like 1985 Clue the movie take where she's like, "Ah!"
Very Mrs. Peacock.
when Mr. Body comes out of the bathroom, it is so funny. And he kills her. And then we like the last we see, she's being dragged off. And it's just like, I remember seeing that when I was young and being like, that was a choice. But I like judged it when I was young.
Oh no, it's
and
amazing.
now I'm like, I didn't understand what I had, like what we had.
Yeah, it's perfect in this movie.
I think, what did we decide? Dion.
Oh yeah, it was Dion something.
I know him from Not Another Teen Movie,
Yeah.
and he's very funny in that. Dion Richmond as Tyson. I think Tyson is criminally underwritten.
Yeah.
Especially.
And underused.
Yeah. Well, because he's the black guy in the Scary Movie, and he does unfortunately die. I didn't remember that, and I was really rooting for him this time.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute since I watched
Yeah.
it. But it's like, there's a scene where, again, shit's hitting the fan in the mansion, and he and he starts to run, and Ghostface comes after him, and he just goes, "Oh, you motherfucker."
Oh, you motherfucker.
And it was so funny. And I was just sort of like, I wish we got more
of that. And he gets killed in like the dumbest way. Like he gets the rug out from under him and then he gets stabbed. And I'm just sort of like, really?
Well, and then he goes over. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think especially when you consider how much Parker Posey is doing on the surface and how much Emily Mortimer was doing in hindsight.
Yeah.
I really wish he was doing a handful more. The same for Matt Kessler. It's like, I mean, I know that with these movies, it's like bodies gotta fall, they gotta hit the floor, but it's just like, considering how strong those two pseudo 3 ingredients are, I don't know. I think all of that is part of the rewrites trying to make it more funny.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what a straightforward, scary Scream 3 would be like.
Well, there's tons of stuff going on in this movie because Kevin Williamson couldn't come back to write, but he did an outline, and then the actual person who wrote it basically threw his outline in the trash.
Oh.
And so it's just sort of like, what could have been kind of a thing. Because Kevin Williamson is like, that's where
he's like satirical funny.
Because that's the thing, is the marriage of Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven is what makes the first two so like actual brilliant horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
And while Wes Craven did still direct this one, it's not.
He's kind of phoning it in.
I mean, he's allowed at that point. But that's kind of the thing where I'm just sort of like, meh. Also, I literally just read this one. In Scream and Scream 2, around 47 minutes in, Gale Weathers is punched in the face by Sidney Prescott. In this movie, Jennifer Jolie, who is playing Gale Weathers in Stab 3, is punched in the face by the real Gale Weathers.
What the fuck happened to to you?
Jennifer, wait a minute.
Who gave you a place to stay? Who are you supposed to be protecting?
Jennifer?
Hey! My lawyer liked that.
Not as much as I did.
That's
Just thumbs up. I love that kind of
that's
shit.
great. Do we know where the Carrie Fisher cameo came from? Is there a reason for it, or
No, but it was originally supposed to be Jamie Lee Curtis.
oh, that makes a little bit more sense. It wasn't Carrie Fisher famously a ghostwriter?
She touched up some of her own lines in this.
But I was gonna say I think she maybe was one of the ones that they brought in
Maybe.
for one or two. I don't know. I had forgotten.
Yeah, she was like a huge deal as like a script an uncredited script doctor in the 90s and 2000s. She did it forever.
It's a fun little nod, but we have because I had completely forgotten about Patrick Dempsey.
Yeah.
And
He
it's
is so hot.
one might even call him dreamy.
Yeah. Mick Dreamy. Oh.
He and the hair, it manages to not be terrible in this.
No, except for Courtney Cox.
No, his hair.
Yeah, well, is his hair generally terrible?
No, but that kind of floofy 90s man hair.
He always had that. Actually, his hair is like naturally very curly because he's in a movie from the 80s called Can't Buy Me Love. And it's like.
And I do really, I like it. It's so funny to me how much of the Scream, considering, the three Scream movies, it's so funny to me how much of them are sort of cinema verite, like so much of the characters, like who they are and where they came from happens in between the movies. Like we don't see. And so it's like, he's kind of a love interest for Sydney, but almost all of it's subtext.
She's also still wearing the Greek letters that Derek gave her.
It makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Because I watching it this most recent time, I was like, man, Derek really got the bum end of that.
Do you want to know who we can blame for the bangs?
Who?
David Arquette.
Why?
He suggested that Courtney Cox cut her hair like Betty Page. First of all, those are not Betty Page bangs. But that's what it says.
So I'm also going to say something controversial and brave, like I said about her hair in the second one. And it's not that I think it's good. I don't. It is universally bad. But do you want to live in a world without it?
No, of course not. But it's terrible.
Especially for Gail at this point.
Yeah.
It's sharp, it's severe, it's off-putting in a way that if her second and third hair swapped, I don't know. I stand by, if you're only watching this, go back and watch our conversation about her hair in Scream 2.
It's especially weird because it's like she is having like a whole ass romance in this movie. And for her to be having an entire romance with like literally the worst hair that Courtney Cox has ever had is upsetting.
I don't think it suits Gail at this point in her character arc and her character journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Patrick Dempsey, I also don't think I ever appreciated how funny his detective partner is.
So funny.
He has like a handful of one-liners because the one I snorted laughing when they were talking about, do you think Cotton's death could be connected to the movie? And he just goes,
he was making a movie called Stab. He was stabbed.
He was making a movie called Stab. He was stabbed.
Super good. Super good.
And then those horrible headshots of Maureen when they get like the second one and he was like 10 more of these and we can publish the calendar. And it's like
he did say that.
This movie is nothing but choices.
Yeah.
And so many of them
are the right choice.
I wonder, do we know if this is because it's like the first two were like well regarded and this one like the Rotten Tomatoes was like 40 something and the audience score is down, but I wonder if this is one of the ones
that's gonna come back around. People are gonna appreciate it more now. Maybe.
And maybe not as a whole, like maybe it's not like an excellent film, but again, there is so much in it that is of value that it's like, let's not throw the baby out.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think, for me, it's a yes. Although I have liked it the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's just so weird and funny. Like even the stuff with Jennifer, with Parker Posey, where she finds like the passage, and the fact that she like is running away from the killer and literally runs face to face. I said Clue already, and this, especially the like third act, kind of plays like a Clue movie.
It does.
It's got more teeth, but
yeah, it's in the house apparently that they used as a school in Halloween H2O.
Oh God, is it really that house?
Yeah.
Those voice modulators are not things, correct?
You can get a voice modulator
that changes your voice like that.
Oh, I don't know how you can make it into someone else, another specific person's voice, but like the voice that we've been hearing since Scream 1.
No, I understand that, but it's because that's because the first two there's not like a weird, like it's not magic, but that's a leap. That's like a realism leap. Probably. And the first two don't have that. And then this one, it's Dewey, they got our voices. And it's like, I didn't question it when I was 16, but I don't know how Gail can tell that. Is there like a dial that says like Gail, Dewey, Sydney? There's like 4 buttons. Oh, okay. And I think she just was, I don't know. It was weird. It's weird in a way that it's like, because I enjoy the rest of it enough, I'll let it go, but it's pretty glaring. Yeah. I think. Is Roman the only killer in Scream that fakes his own death that way? Like he lays down in a coffin and plays dead for minutes. Yeah, I think so. That's also very funny. Yeah. If you ask me. The drama of some of these, let's be honest, men. Oh, yeah. The men for sure. But I think Scott Foley largely sells the twist. And I do love them fighting because in that one scene where they're like really like going back and forth and he's like, fuck you. And she's like, fuck you. And they actually sound like a brother and sister fighting. It's like really good. I really, really enjoy it. And I think you're right. I think he really sells it. And he also is doing a very someone shit on the codes thing. He really just like Laurie Metcalf in the second one. I also think it's interesting. Jenna McCarthy, she has a really bad joke about the whole dying in the shower has been done before. Hello, Vertigo. And I didn't understand that because it's so stupid. The joke is so bad that at 16 I was like, well, then there must also be a shower scene in Vertigo. It's Psycho. But they have a Psycho nod after she is killed. There's a close up of her eye with like the blood splatter, and I thought it was kind of interesting. And because even the you're right, the jokes, it's funny because her breaking his music video statue. Yeah. And then later he's like all unhinged. What does this mean? He's like, you think this isn't a sign? Which is a little voided when you realize he's the killer. But regardless, it's interesting. Someone shit on the codes. I think they were incorrect in killing Jennifer Jolie. Yeah, I agree. I genuinely think that was the wrong move. Yeah. I don't know that Scream 4 needed Parker Posey. No, but the tone of Scream 4 is so different that it wouldn't really have fit. But I would have liked to know that she's out there in the universe still. Because I think we could have sent herself to journalism school after this or something. No, I want her to be an actress, to be a very successful bad actress. I think we could believe in the moment that she had, but it's incorrect. It just doesn't, because even the what is the point of Dewey figuring out the two-way mirrors and let alone the mechanics of he shot. So for you, he shot this mirror, this mirror, this mirror, this mirror. She's dead behind this one. But she's also already rattling these two mirrors over here. And the killer, it doesn't work. Yeah. It doesn't work. And like I said, it doesn't, it's not poetic. There's no poetry to, because she's even doing but I can't die. I'm the killer in the movie. I thought she was going to die in the movie. They wrote different versions. It. That's right. And so in the end, she's like, I can't die now. I'm the killer, which... So fair. That's the more believable is that Gail was facilitating. Yeah. But I, like I said, I don't think it's my standing or whatever. I think narratively it is just it's incorrect. Yeah. There's plenty more to say, but that feels like the wrap up to our natural conversation. Did you have anything that you wanted to add for your favorite? Not really. I just do. Well, my favorite thing in the entire movie is Parker Posey leaping into Patrick Warburton's arms. And he just keeps calling Dewey Dewdrop, which also is really silly and funny. This is such a good I fucking love Patrick Warburton. He's amazing. He's so good. I don't know. I just really do. I like all of it. I think it's so funny. I think it works. I think Lars Henriksen, that's who it is, right? The director Milton. Sorry, I just thought of you're such a complex character.
Yeah, Lance Henderson. I think he's weirdly perfectly cast. I mean, I just think everybody in this is good, really good, and I love it.
Yeah, and I like the Hollywood stuff. There was a pretty good limited series 2 years ago called I Am the Night.
Oh my god,
that is very in this vein.
Yeah, I'm surprised it doesn't happen in that house.
Yeah, was it Patty? It was Patty Jenkins that did that, and Chris Pine and Connie Nielsen.
Yes, yeah.
So if you like the kind of old Hollywood dirty,
it's also the Black Dahlia.
This is me recommending it to you.
No, it's very good.
Less funny than Scream 3, but
way
similar.
less funny. Yeah.
Similar old Hollywood tones. So, all right. On that note.
Yeah. You can follow us on Twitter at So I'm Watching or Instagram at So I'm Watching This Show. We also have a website, soimwatching.com, which links out to everything, including where you can toss us a couple bucks if you feel like it.
I always think you're pointing at me.
Toss him money.
It makes me, I'm like, ah!
No, I'm gesturing.
No, I understand, like, as it happens, but I feel like I gotta start doing the Charleston. Like,
yeah, if you like what we're doing and you want to just contribute to us being able to keep doing this, then you can go to these many places.
And thank you to the people who already are. I keep meaning to revamp our, like, thank you for friends, fans, patrons, all of that. But we get in habits.
Get in a groove.
Yeah, get in grooves. So
yeah, and then other than that, just like and subscribe, and that's it for us. Bye.